Good evening, everybody, and welcome to America Votes 2012 here on CUTV and WCUC 91.7 FM. I'm your host, Matt Knaler. We'll be providing comprehensive election night coverage here on CUTV and WCUC for the next 4 hours from 8 p.m. until midnight. A full team here tonight. Mike Friend is co-hosting with me tonight, the features editor from the Clarion Call. He'll be giving you all sorts of information on the races tonight as well. We have a full team of analysts, and we'll first start with the gentleman to my left. Here we have Greg Jacobs and Thomas McConnell from Face the Campus on CUTV, and John Owens from The Rundown on WCUC. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
I want to thank you all for being here tonight. It is going to be a very long night here, and we're prepared, and we have so much to talk about. We have a lot of results incoming now. Again, a lot of states have closed from 7 and 7:30 on. Of course, parts of Florida divided up right now between the eastern and central parts, the eastern and central time zones. They both have now closed, so we're waiting on some early results from that, exit polls as well. Guys, let's talk about what we know so far. Mitt Romney leading the electoral vote count 49-3 from the states that closed prior to 8 o'clock over President Obama. Again, 49-3 is what we know right now. Greg, take us through what we know so far, and again, through the presidential race. 49-3, Mitt Romney. Give us your early thoughts.
Well, actually, as you were talking, it actually just now changed. Barack Obama is actually up right now, 79-71. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong camera. Barack Obama's up 79-71 right now. It's gonna be a close night. It's gonna be a long night, and there's gonna be a lot of deciding factors. I know that right now, Florida is one of them, Ohio is one of them, and Pennsylvania is one of them. Last election, Obama had Pennsylvania. And this election, it might not go that way. There's a lot of people who feel that Romney's going to get it due to the fight on coal, and because of that, I feel like Mitt Romney's going to pull it out, and we'll see tonight. It's going to be a very close night.
We've seen 4 battleground states so far, Thomas. Again, 4 battleground states have closed. Florida, Virginia, and North Carolina and Ohio prior to 8 o'clock. Give us your thoughts on what we're seeing in some of these early polls. Again, Mitt Romney leading the Electoral College 49-3. Give us your thoughts, Tom.
Well, like Greg said, there were a few more that came in for Obama. Connecticut, Maine, both in those in that poll. But I think with Ohio and Florida, they're both going to be, in there. We're not going to find out those till the last, I think. Mm-hmm. And I've been looking. There was a couple. I think CNN was the one that reported that some of the early voting that came in from some of the Ohio counties that are primarily Democrat, they're noticing that some of the voting rates are down a little bit in some of the Democratic counties. So that we'll have to see what happens there, because I know on Sunday they had Obama in the lead by a very slight margin, within the margin of error though. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Ohio goes. But I know a lot of people are saying that Romney needs Florida, North Carolina, and Virginia to even have a chance to winning the election. So we're definitely going to have to look at Florida and Ohio too.
John, give us your thoughts again. We've seen a number of states close early. Pennsylvania just closed here at 8 o'clock. We've talked about everything involved here with Pennsylvania so far. Some of the things, anyway, Greg alluded to a little bit earlier with the war on coal. Give us your thoughts. How do you think Pennsylvania is going to turn out tonight?
I think Pennsylvania, the big factor with Pennsylvania is going to be what the turnout is in the urban areas, in Pittsburgh and in Philadelphia especially. If Barack Obama, the president, can get the turnout in the Philadelphia area, that's what really helped him in 2008. If he can get that again this year, then he will most likely carry Pennsylvania. If he can't get the turnout in that area, then the rest of the state, which leans red, we may have an interesting night here in PA. It may be a long night. Also, we brought up Virginia already. The exit polls on Virginia are telling us that it is neck and neck in Virginia. If Mitt Romney loses Virginia, then it's going to be very tough for him to come away with this one.
We're going to be covering a lot of different races here tonight. We talked about the presidential race so far. We're also going to be taking a look at Pennsylvania's key races in the U.S. Senate and in the U.S. House. We're still getting to some of the early numbers in so far on the Tom Smith-Bob Casey race in the U.S. Senate. The main races we're going to be following tonight in the U.S. House, Pennsylvania's 3rd congressional district between Republican Mike Kelly and Democrat Missa Eaton. We're also going to take a look here, of course, in Clarion County. Clarion County is split between PA3 and PA5, Pennsylvania's 5th congressional district, between Glenn Thompson, the Republican incumbent, and Charles Dumas, the Democratic challenger. We're going to take a look at that race as well. Guys, give us some of your early thoughts here on Pennsylvania's races. Greg, we saw Bob Casey up in every poll so far. Do you think he has a clean shot tonight to win?
I think Bob Casey does have a clear shot to win. I think that the biggest reason why he has the best clear shot to win is because of his dad. He has the name recognition, which is phenomenal and helps him out a tremendous amount. But I don't know. I think that Tom Smith has a very good chance as winning as well. And I think that I really strongly feel that Pennsylvania is going to sway toward Romney, do with the war on coal, and deal with since there have been a lot of job losses in Pennsylvania in the last few years. I feel like that not only will people vote for Mitt Romney, but they're also going to vote for Tom Smith as well and stick with the Republican ticket. But Bob, I think Casey does have a very good chance of winning.
Take a look at the congressional races, Thomas. Again, we mentioned Clarion County splits between Pennsylvania's 3rd Congressional District and PA 5. Give us your thoughts on these races tonight. A lot of people predict the Republican candidates in those races are going to come out. Give us your thoughts.
I'm going to have to agree with that prediction there because, as you know, that Mike Kelly and Glenn Thompson, the sitting congressman, they both are running in pretty urban areas, with the exception of Mike Kelly has a little bit inching up there to Erie. Mm-hmm. But I know that they had a pretty easy time winning their seats the first time they were in office because they're both new. Glenn Thompson,
he's running for his third term, and Mike Kelly's running for his second.
Yeah, so I don't think that's going to be any issue for them to win because I know they ran, and anyone has to run a hard campaign, but their campaign wasn't even comparable to any other some of the races that we've seen, like the Tom Smith race that you guys alluded to. But I think they're pretty safe.
John, we're going to take a look at some of the other races tonight, the state races here in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania State Treasurer, Auditor General. Give us your thoughts on this. You and I have been talking a lot about the Pennsylvania State Treasurer race. You think Rob McCord has an edge there? Give us your thoughts.
I think Rob McCord does have the edge when you look at the Pennsylvania State Treasurer race. He has a lot of credibility. A lot of people are looking at him as a potential gubernatorial candidate in Pennsylvania in 2 years. Another race to follow, Auditor General Jack Wagner has reached his term limit, so that one is going to be between Eugene DePasquale. He's the Democratic candidate. I give him a slight edge in that one. Big race to pay attention to, however, Kathleen Kane and David Freed in the Attorney General race. And you may potentially have the first Democrat elected Attorney General tonight in the state of Pennsylvania. And so much attention on that because of Penn State, Jerry Sandusky, that entire investigation.
You take a look now, as you can see, some of the people voting here in Clarion Borough today. This is at Marwick Boyd Auditorium here on the campus of Clarion University. And of course, we're going to be bringing a lot of local results tonight as well. Kelly Perjelic from here from CUTV, she will be downtown live at the Clarion County Courthouse actually in the park downtown Clarion, giving us results on a lot of the local races and to talk about how Clarion County is voting in the national and statewide races as well. So we'll be going to her later on throughout the night. Also tonight, as we mentioned, we're going to take a look at social media, everything on Facebook and Twitter. Jillian Hartman from CUTV's Entertainment Lately, and also a newsreader on WCUC. She'll be here to talk about everything going on social media, the instant reactions from not only here in Pennsylvania, but of course around the country. So we'll be talking about that all night. We're going to take it to our first break. When we come back, we'll take it to Mike Friend. He's with 3 other analysts. He will be talking about everything that Clarion County and people here in Clarion really want to know in this election and what matters most to them. Stay tuned. You're watching America Votes 2012 on CUTV and listening to America Votes 2012 on the WCUC.
So, are you going out tonight? I can't. My parents say I have to be home right after work. That's so gay.
Totally gay. Ugh, that is so Emma and Julia.
Why are you saying that's so Emma and Julia?
Well, you know, when something is dumb or stupid, you say that's so Emma and Julia.
Who says that?
Everyone.
Imagine if who you are were used as an insult. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Well, you know, when something is dumb or stupid, you say that's so Emma and Julia.
Who says that?
Everyone.
Imagine if who you are were used as an insult. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
That's low. That's low and below.
Can't find your one-of-a-kind ingredient? Looking to challenge your appetite with exotic flavor? Your search ends at 6th and Main's unique array of groceries and ingredients. Specializing in the not-so-widely available, 6th and Main is Clarion's supplier of the striking tastes that shape a stylish palate. With their varied styles and unmatched selection, 6th and Main has got the taste you have only dreamt about. Let your taste run wild at 6th and Main.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The first day stepping on the court, I couldn't keep up. That motivated me to step up my game. When I reach a goal, I set a new one the next day. And my next goal is to go to college. Mastering the court takes persistence. So does getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Do you like this top? So gay. Really? Yeah, it's totally gay.
You know, you really shouldn't say that.
Say what?
Well, say that something's gay when you mean it's bad. It's insulting. What if every time something was bad, everybody said, "Oh, that's so girl wearing a skirt as a top"?
Oh, you are.
Those are cute jeans, though. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Longing for a unique taste and a relaxed atmosphere? Look no further than 6th and Main Market in downtown Clarion. With a menu to satisfy a chic palate, 6th and Main has a taste of the Strip District without the long drive home. Accompanying the food is a complement of gourmet sodas and ice creams, a fully stocked deli, delicious breads, and delectable desserts. 6th and Main offers dine-in service with a relaxed atmosphere, which will leave a distinct impression.
Welcome back to America Votes, everybody. I am Mike Friend here, anchoring the second half of our coverage. Here joining me, we're going to start with the gentleman immediately to my right, or excuse me, to my left. We have Nick Rawson here of the Faces Campus with Matthew Knaler. In the middle here, we have Aaron Krzezinski. Aaron attended the Republican National Convention this year. And sitting on my far left here, we have Dylan Christofek. Dylan, a voice on the Rundown with Matthew Knaler. So some very politically savvy folks here with us tonight. Folks, we have basically Clarion County really in the heart of the Republican T, as they call it here in Pennsylvania. And Clarion students and locals really cast their ballots this morning. And they shared their views on the presidential candidates. CUTV's own Jillian Hertwin was there and has more on this.
As Election Day is underway, many Clarion locals and students have put forth their opinions and concerns on which presidential candidate they believe makes the most suitable leader of the United States.
Best choice, as far as my opinion, is Barack Obama. I believe that he would put funding towards special education and Head Starts where we need it.
Clarion residents from the borough gathered at Mark Boyd, located on Clarion's campus, to cast their votes for the 2012 election, as well as Clarion students.
I was a student here at Clarion University. My vote goes for Mitt Romney because not only will it help out my education along with my fellow students, but down the road when I'm getting a job and I graduate, he's going to be the one that will help us succeed in the future.
I believe that if you have a good idea, it doesn't matter what political party that you are. It's just who you trust and who you believe will take care of you as far as a nation.
I'm Jillian Hartman reporting for CUTV News.
All right, folks, as you can see, Clarion County residents and students really have a vast array of opinions here. And analysts, what we're going to get to first is with the presidential election in the state and all of the elections happening here, what do you think personally that Clarion County needs, and why is that the biggest need and the biggest issue? Nick, we're going to start with you.
Well, the biggest issue right now, and the fact of the matter is, that Mitt Romney has a pretty good hold on Clarion County right now. And a big part of that is the very successful campaign that Greg had alluded to earlier, the war on coal. And that's a big thing because in our area, coal is an industry that has a lot of historical implications, and it speaks to the industrial blue-collar nature of Clarion County. At the same time, Mitt Romney isn't really the candidate that many Republicans and many moderate conservatives were looking for, and so they tend to lean a little bit towards Obama, and you see that whenever you talk to them. Mitt Romney, they talk about the nature of him flip-flopping and some of the different things that he said in the debates that really strikes with them. And honestly, right now, I think Mitt Romney is going to win Clarion County. I think that's obvious on several levels, and I think the biggest factor there is the campaign for the war on coal.
All right, Aaron, you heard Nick, some of the biggest issues facing Clarion County, in your opinion, for this election.
Probably a lot to do with education, since we are a college campus and a college town. So I know attendance is down, so they need to look for more funding and things to try to get this college campus back, because if they're going to lose attendance, the economy might suffer because they don't have those coming into the restaurants buying groceries and stuff at Walmart. So
the economy, Nick says the war on coal. Dylan, what issue do you think is really you've hearing being vocal for this election in Clarion County?
You see, I see it going both ways, as both of them said. Clarion historically is very blue collar. We've noticed a little bit of a decline in that. We walk past the glass plant, we see it being torn down. That was about 300 jobs that went out 2 years ago. But Clarion, very historically, very blue collar, lots of jobs, lots of good work for hard-working people. But at the same time, that's no longer the reality of Clarion. The largest employer right now in Clarion County is the university. People get jobs there, people get training there. Clarion University, at least at this current point in time, is the future. And so really the most important factor for Clarion County probably should be focusing on this campus and making sure that it continues to succeed. As Aaron said, enrollment's down. We need to find a way to get that back, to get Clarion being more successful, and perhaps maybe open up, or maybe, go pro-business, try to get more people back into here. But since that's currently not the reality, it's definitely got to focus on education.
All right, analysts, really looking at this, Dylan kind of mentioned on our next question here, jobs really been leaving Clarion County, not a lot created. Both candidates really promising the jobs sector. Mitt Romney really hammering on the president about the lack of meaningful job creation. Do you think the county is going to go one way or another because of this lack of job creation in the specific area? Nick, we'll start with you real quick.
To be honest, I don't think that the numbers really speak to President Obama not creating jobs. However, that's a very important issue that many citizens of Clarion County are probably looking at. I mean, every poll shows that the economy is the chief issue whenever people are considering their vote. That's no different in Clarion County, and especially in our county where we've had the Sealy mattress plant closed down years before the glass plant did. The glass plant closed down. The cookie factory in Riversburg closed down. It's now about to reopen. People see Mitt Romney as somebody that's able to create jobs. He was a business owner. They believe that he's going to be able to stimulate manufacturing jobs. As Dylan had said, as a college town, there should be a big focus on our college. Unfortunately, there's kind of a big discrepancy between the two kinds of people that live in Clarion County. There's the people that are pro-college and the people that are pro-manufacturing, and there doesn't seem to be much agreement between those two sectors. And so many times you'll see the divide of the college-oriented individuals will vote more liberally, in this case for Obama, and the people that are more in the blue-collar manufacturing jobs are going to go with Mitt Romney.
All right, Aaron, really, as a student, have you seen this, really the feelings of the university tries to do what they can with the community, but have you seen this, I'm going to say, polarization in the community between the university, I'm going to say, people that feel that it's beneficial to those who feel it's kind of a hindrance to the county?
I think that a lot of people, more so students and stuff, they do realize that Clarion is suffering and they are voting more Romney just because they've seen all these jobs lost in Clarion. So definitely Romney is a big push, but there's a lot of students who are voting Obama because of his fight for education and all of the policies he's implemented to better and get more funding out there for us.
Dylan, do you think really on campus, because of the policies presented by both candidates, do you see a stronger support for President Obama or for Mitt Romney, who really has opted to maybe scale back funding to education?
Absolutely, I see that. A lot of people on campus are very, very pro working with education, but I also see a different thing going on in the town. Not everybody who lives in town is necessarily a fan of the college students. I've heard that there have been some issues in town with kind of, what's the word for it? It's vandalism. Mm-hmm. And so there are some people that have been in the town who are not exactly pro-education and pro-university right now. I hear it's been particularly bad this year. I have no statistics on that, but I've heard through people who've gone to the borough council that this has become a real issue. And so there are people in town who are not looking at the university as closely as they should because they see it as more of a problem than a help to their community. And so, yes, on campus, definitely a lot more Obama support. There's some Romney support here and there. But in town, I'm definitely seeing a lot more of a push for Romney because the university is not seen as a benefit to them.
All right, folks. As Dylan alluded to, several instances in the in the borough being blamed on university students. Not necessarily always the case. When we come back from our commercial break here, we will have Clarion University President Karen Whitney here with CUTV's own Britt Seahall. Keep it here on America Votes 2012 here on CUTV.
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're gonna be hanging out a little bit more.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those pants.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Danse, balance-tu la cadence, on lève bien tes hanches au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence, dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis ton chou, ton
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
At Sheetz, your favorite meal on the go is just a touch away. The MTO, or made-to-order menu, is the perfect way to quickly get food that will satisfy any craving. Don't worry about trying to decide which fast food restaurant will satisfy your taste. Sheetz' wide variety of choices and simple ordering system makes the decision easy. For those especially hectic days when time is at a premium, Sheetz also offers the MTO to-go case with quick grabs. Sheetz is conveniently located at 1281 East Main Street in Clarion.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
Welcome back to America Votes 2012 for CUTV and WCUC-FM. I'm Britt Seahall, and joining us now is President Karen Whitney. How are you this evening?
I'm eagle-tastic.
All right, thank you for joining us.
Sure.
Now, starting with the early results of this evening, what are your thoughts and expectations as of right now?
Well, I think it's exciting. I think a moment like this evening really captures, I think, the greatness in our democracy. That, you know, all of us have gone to the polls. We've searched our souls. We've thought about what kind of government we want. We've really, you know, boiled it all down, walked in, and cast our ballot today. And I think it's a very exciting day. It's part of our great American culture to vote and to be actively involved in our politics, in our democracy. So I think it's energizing.
Definitely, and I think it's especially exciting for those first-time voters, especially some of the freshmen and also other students who it's their first year that they were registered. And by the same token, not a lot of students value their right to vote. How important is it to you that these students have involvement in this process?
Well, I think it's hugely important because voting is a right. There's nothing that is guaranteed, and unfortunately we still have countries in this world where not everybody is able to vote. And I'm proud of our country. I'm proud of the United States of America that every citizen of a certain age can vote. And I think we need to embrace that, protect it, and be part of it. And so anybody, the first thing I'll say, anybody who didn't vote today, if you didn't vote, don't complain. And my hope is that you did vote and that you'll always continue to vote throughout your life, because I think that's the first thing about being a civil society is voting and being part of the governmental process.
I think that's very true, and that's something that some students overlook, but I think that one deterrent could potentially be for students the voting ID law. What are your thoughts on that law?
Well, with a lot of respect to elected officials, I've been very critical of that law. I think that one of the great things of our country is that when I go to vote as a university president, my vote counts just like your vote counts. Your vote counts just like my vote counts. They both need to be heard. They both have a right to be heard, and we need to be vigilant to always encourage voting and not to suppress it. And I do think anybody who attempts to defraud the system should be held accountable, but I think it often dissuades people, and it suppresses the enthusiasm for voting by having these kinds of barriers to voting. So I am very critical of it, and I'm very proud, to my knowledge, no one from Clarion University, no student was turned away from our voting station here on campus. That was my commitment as president, was to ensure that we had a great relationship with the folks running the polling station and that no one was turned away. And I believe I've not received any report that anyone has, and so I'm pleased for that, because it's hugely important that everyone vote and everybody be encouraged and supported to vote.
It's nice that you had that support for the students in that respect. As president of the university, if Mitt Romney or Barack Obama is elected, explain the implications on higher education that could follow.
Well, both candidates are supportive of education. Both candidates, they share many similar values about understanding that to thrive in a global society like we have, that post-high school education is very important. Probably the differences might be what's the role of government in terms of supporting or advancing your education at the college level. Historically, Democrats have been more in favor of grants or aid that you don't pay for. Republicans have historically been more in favor of loans that you would pay back. So I think both are supportive. They have slightly different views on how they might approach that support to students. But that would be my general assessment. I think regardless, whoever's president going forward has a commitment to encouraging post-high school credentials, post-secondary credentials in a variety of ways, because there's a recognition that as we rebuild our economy and we move to reduce unemployment, increase employment, that being well prepared and whether it's at a technical level or at university level is extremely important.
Yeah, it is definitely encouraging that both candidates are in favor of the education system. Mm-hmm. And considering, this is an interesting factor, considering the split with the popular vote sort of leaning in favor of Mitt Romney and the Electoral College going towards Obama, what are your thoughts on that, how interesting that is?
Well, every 4 years I'm reminded about how I have to reacquaint myself with the Electoral College, which I have mixed feelings about. Is it still relevant today? Certainly our founding fathers and mothers couldn't have anticipated the internet or the telephone or ways we communicate or cars or ways we transit around this country, or even how well educated people are today, that are some things I wonder may have prompted the installation of an electoral college. I go back and forth. I had a conversation today, and the person I was talking with about the Electoral College had a different view, that actually the Electoral College protects states that aren't as densely populated, more rural states. Again, the idea is, where's the balance in the democracy, so that we all can, whoever is our leader as the president, that it's somebody that has earned our trust, has earned our confidence to lead our country. And not simply the trust or confidence of a narrow group of people. So I have mixed feelings about the Electoral College, mm-hmm. on does it continue to serve us or not. But it's there today. It's an interesting reminder of our civics lesson, and it's kind of, it'll be interesting to see if this is or not a situation where there's a popular vote or an electoral vote. I think it's actually too soon to know that. Mm-hmm. Certainly there are larger demographic factors in play with, more people of color voting. Our demographics in our country is shifting, where we have more African Americans and Latinos voting in part of our country than European Americans. Also, younger people vote more. You've got a lot in play here that contribute to the electoral popular vote situation. But certainly, it's a fun thing to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. Now, switching gears to the state races, half of the state senate is up for re-election.
Right.
What do you see happening locally? And if there is a shift in power, do you see more funding coming into the state school systems?
I don't know that there's a connection between the funding of higher ed and any particular party affiliation that I can see. I think it really breaks down more to individuals, and I think our state elected officials have a really tough job, no matter what party they happen to belong to, because the tough job transcends party affiliation. The tough job is you've got in the state of Pennsylvania many needs that historically state funds have supported. At the same time, we've been in an extended period of higher than usual unemployment. And also people's wages have not continued to grow as we've usually been accustomed to. So you've got, at the end of the day, fewer tax dollars coming in. So you have these tremendous needs that we've historically funded through state tax dollars, but we've had a reduction of tax dollars. Mm-hmm. And that's the challenge. I think, in fact, the elected officials I've met have real big hearts, and they love the Commonwealth greatly, and the struggle is to find that balance between, with limited dollars, where should those dollars go for the greater good of the Commonwealth?
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for your time, President Whitney. Now I'm going to send it back to Matt and Mike.
Are you going out tonight?
I can't. My parents say I have to be home right after work.
That's so gay.
Totally gay.
Ugh, that is so Emma and Julia. Why are you saying that's so Emma and Julia?
Well, you know when something is dumb or stupid, you say that's so Emma and Julia.
Who says that?
Everyone.
Imagine if who you are were used as an insult. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
That's low. That's low and blue.
Look, he's blushing.
Seriously.
Can't find your one-of-a-kind ingredient? Looking to challenge your appetite with exotic flavor? Your search ends at 6th and Main's unique array of groceries and ingredients. Specializing in the not-so-widely available, 6th and Main is Clarion's supplier of the striking tastes that shape a stylish palate. With their varied styles and unmatched selection, 6th and Main has got the taste you have only dreamt about. Let your taste run wild at 6th and Main.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to America Votes 2012 on CUTV and WCUC. Everybody, I'm Matt Knadler. Joining us now, we have Mike Friend and Jillian Hartman, the host of Entertainment Lately. She's here to give us a look at what social media has to offer tonight. So, Jill, thanks for joining us. Of course, plenty to talk about in terms of Twitter, Facebook, everything about social media tonight. So first, tell us about how are people reacting to the news about President Obama and Mitt Romney, the results that are coming in. What does Twitter look like tonight?
Well, social media has a huge factor in this election. For Obama, he has a huge advantage over Romney because he has 21.9 million followers, as Romney only has 1.7 million, which is obviously right because he's been the president for 4 years. But as of the past 7 days, Mitt Romney has averaged almost 2,000 retweets per tweet, as Barack Obama has only averaged 900 retweets per tweet. So as I was looking at the trend on Twitter just 10 minutes ago, the hashtags are Vote Obama, Romney, hashtag I voted, and hashtag election 2012. And when you look at the hashtag I voted, a lot of college students are voting for the first time this year. So you see a lot of tweets constantly, people saying, voted for the first time, feel like a big girl, big boy. So a lot of people are getting involved in this election.
There are a lot of first-time voters, and of course we've seen that here on campus today. Jill, take a look at, tell us about social media in terms of Facebook exactly. What does Facebook look like tonight?
Well, Facebook, Mitt Romney again has a less advantage over Barack Obama because he only has 12 million likes on his page, as Obama has 32 million likes. But Mitt Romney sends out a great message during, if you ever look at his page, it has a lot of great ads, but Obama, if you ever look at YouTube, his presidential ads have celebrities such as Jay-Z, Kathy Griffin, Will Ferrell, that support Obama. So Obama has also an advantage on YouTube, also on Facebook.
And Jill, looking at this, I know I've heard a lot of the Romney campaign has been stressing a quality over quantity. A number of tweets. Have you been looking at the candidates and seeing something like a distinct, like Romney is putting out more like longer tweets as opposed to the Obama camp and supporters? Have you seen that, or has it been like kind of even college kids
well,
being
Obama
college kids?
has been aiming a lot towards women.
Okay.
And Mitt Romney has obviously gone for more the middle class and has targeting change in the next 4 years. And he's really aiming for those Republicans who are looking for, you look back at Facebook, and a lot of people nowadays, there's people obviously like you two that are really involved and done your homework with politics.
Yeah.
But a lot of college students have only watched the 3 debates and have listened to their parents. So they really don't have a great idea on what's going on. So that's why they go back to Facebook and the YouTube presidential ads and to Twitter to look at who is the best candidate for them to vote for.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, and again, we'll be following Jill here with all her social media reports throughout the night. Right now, we're going to go downtown live to. We're going to. Well, before we do go downtown, one thing we'll talk to Jill
Actually,
about
I
real
found
quick.
a couple comical tweets tonight.
Okay, I was saying Twitter has been just a huge part of the night. Jill has
A
kept
supportive
us up here.
and comical tweet about Obama. Tonight is the night we find out if it's true America went black. Will it go back? So I thought that was kind of funny. And also, there was also another status on Facebook. Why all of this fuss about the election anyway? The world is ending in 7 weeks anyways. So I thought that was pretty comical.
What is pretty interesting.
I mean, it takes the...
And really, Joe, you see this stuff. Have you been noticing, you said you saw a couple of comical Facebook status and tweets. In that, do you see a lot of people taking a more comical aspect to this? Like, yeah, it's my first time, I'm having fun with this election?
Yes,
or
definitely.
Do you see
they're taking it less seriously. They're saying, vote for Lady Gaga, vote for, the Rugrats, like anything, really. They're taking it to a less serious extent because as young adults, although this does base our future with, our education and with jobs getting out of college, a lot of students are kind of looking at this as, all right, this is my first time. It's kind of, not a big deal for me.
It's putting on the big boy pants or big girl pants.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're going to take it downtown now to Kelly Przalik. CUTV's Kelly Przalik is live downtown here in Clarion. She has updates on some of tonight's local races. Kelly?
Good evening, guys. It's a very frigid election night here down at the Clarion County Courthouse. We're going to take a look at some of the local races that we're talking about, as well as the national races. As you know, the voting polls just closed about 40 minutes ago here in the state of Pennsylvania, but if you are still in line, if you're listening to us on the radio, if you're listening to us in the car, you still have the chance to vote as long as you were in line by 8 o'clock. We're going to take a look at some of the local races that we're following here. In the Clarion 63rd District, Donna Oberlander, she's a Republican. She will be winning the race here in the Clarion 63rd District. She had no incumbent opponent, so she will be declared the winner here. We're also following the popular Senate race versus Bob Casey and Tom Smith. That one's going to be a close one. We're going to keep an eye on those one as well. And also the 5th Congressional District race between Glenn Thompson and his incumbent opponent, Charles Dumas. They were both campaigning in State College today, and that's where they're holding their parties tonight. We're also going to be following still as well the President of Barack Obama versus Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney has a slight lead in the polls, as we just checked a little bit ago. We're also going to be following some local races, the 64th District race between R. Lee James in Venango County, as well as the 66th District in Jefferson County. We'll be back shortly in a little bit to tell you about those local races, but for now we're going to send it back to the news desk.
All right, thank you, Kelly. And again, we'll be going back to Kelly different parts of the night, getting local results. Again, it seems pretty competitive right now in some of these races, so we'll keep you updated on that throughout the night. So we want to thank Jill for her report. Again, Jill will be with us throughout the night as well. Coming up next, we're going to our faculty segment. Dr. Barry Sweet from Clarion's Political Science Department will be joining us live next. Stay tuned.
The first day stepping on the court, I couldn't keep up. That motivated me to step up my game. When I reach a goal, I set a new one the next day. And my next goal is to go to college. Mastering the court takes persistence. So does getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Do you like this top? It's so gay.
Really?
Yeah, it's totally gay.
You know, you really shouldn't say that.
Say what?
Well, say that something's gay when you mean it's bad. It's insulting. What if every time something was bad, everybody said, "Oh, that's so girl wearing a skirt as a top"?
Oh, you are.
Those are cute jeans, though. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Longing for a unique taste and a relaxed atmosphere? Look no further than 6th and Main Market in downtown Clarion. With a menu to satisfy a chic palate, 6th and Main has a taste of the Strip District without the long drive home. Accompanying the food is a complement of gourmet sodas and ice creams, a fully stocked deli, delicious breads, and delectable desserts. 6th and Main offers dine-in service with a relaxed atmosphere, which will leave a distinct impression.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
Welcome back to America Votes 2012 on CUTV and WCUC 91.7 FM, everybody. I'm your host, Matt Knaler. Mike Friend joins me again. Joining us now, we have Clarion University political science professor Dr. Barry Sweet. He'll be giving us more of an academic perspective on tonight's races. And Dr. Sweet, thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
It's going to be a long night, I'm sure. We're already an hour in, and then we're seeing a lot of the states that we thought would go the correct way. Of course, New England really going towards President Obama. We're seeing the South go towards, at least the Southeast going towards, in favor of Governor Romney. Give us some of the thoughts on the battleground states. Now, we're going to see a lot from Florida, Virginia, Ohio. Give us your thoughts.
Well, like you said, they're battleground states, and so I think we'll be waiting a long time on those. We might be here, till midnight or something in terms of those. I think you mentioned the three that are pretty important. I'm keeping my eye on Florida, Virginia, and Ohio. I think those are key. If those can go to Mitt Romney, then he's in good shape. If he loses any of those, I think it's going to be difficult for him to win.
And Dr. Sweet, looking at that, Massachusetts officially, really a lot of people have called it, have gone for the incumbent, President Obama. Really, have you seen, or is it looking though any of the states that are reliably red or reliably blue, looks as though they're going to change? Is, a state like Utah, are they starting to favor President Obama, or have you seen any surprises on the map?
Utah?
Yeah.
I would be shocked if Utah went blue. I don't think that's going to happen. I think really what you're looking at are the states that have been more traditionally red that President Obama won in 2008. I think those are the ones we want to keep our eye on. Like, for instance, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Indiana, I think, is going to go red again this time. That was, he had some interesting wins the last time around, which I don't think he's going to get this time. So it'll be a closer race this time than it was in 2008. But I don't see any traditionally red state, I think, going blue this time. In fact, I don't see any traditionally blue state going red. I think we're going to be looking at the traditional battleground states like Ohio, like Florida, and then a newer one like Virginia. Virginia's been trending with those northern suburbs around D.C., trending more into a Democratic direction.
We take a look at some of the races here in Pennsylvania again. Auditor General, State Treasurer. We've seen a lot of these different races this year that kind of have flown under the radar during a presidential election year. Give us your take on some of these other races. Again, we talked about the state treasurer race early on. Give us your thoughts on that race and Auditor General as well.
Well, I think because it's a presidential year, you're going to see a surge in Democratic voting. So I think that's going to favor the Democratic candidates. What's kind of interesting about Pennsylvania is Republicans tend to be sort of steady, reliable voters, and so in off-year elections, Republicans do well. Like you see, like 2 years ago in 2010, Republicans did very well. Or even in odd number years, like a 2009 type election, you saw Republicans do pretty well in statewide judicial races. But in presidential years, the Democrats really come out. You get a good surge of voting coming out of the Southeast. And so I think that's really going to help the Democrats across the board in the statewide elections.
And do you see this year, and you mentioned off-year elections, obviously Governor Corbett not up for re-election for a couple more years here. Do you see the way the state votes for presidential, the way they go in the presidential election, do you see that being indicative of how it's going to turn out for the gubernatorial race here in a couple of years? Do you think Tom Corbett will be the first governor that Pennsylvania does not re-elect?
Well, certainly he's not doing particularly well in the approval polls right now, but remember, 2 years is a lifetime in American politics. Remember, a couple of years ago, the Democrats got beat up pretty badly in the 2010 election, and I think they'll do all right, I think, this time. So I think it's too early to predict what's going to happen to Governor Corbett at this point, because again, a lot can change. And remember, in 2 years, it'll be a midterm election in terms of the presidential election, and typically you see the out party do better. My guess is President Obama is probably going to win tonight, which means that the incumbent party will be the Democratic Party, which will be in Republicans' favor in 2014.
One of the things that we've seen a number of people talk about over the course of really the last, I would say, 2 weeks, as the Electoral College has started to shape up a little bit, is the 269-269 split. A lot of people have talked about the potential of that. Explain exactly what that split means, who becomes president then, and really what happens to the vice president after that. Who makes those decisions?
Well, as a political scientist, I would love to see something really neat like that. But a 269 split means then it goes to the House of Representatives for the president. And as we know, the Republicans control the House of Representatives, and they're probably going to maintain control of it. And so then you would see the House picking the president, and they would probably pick Mitt Romney. The vice presidential selection goes to the Senate, which I think the Democrats will retain control of. And so you might very well end up with a Romney-Biden administration, which would be interesting.
It seems a little far-fetched,
Well, yeah.
but people have talked about it, so we want to get your take on that. But
Well, it is. Well, yeah, but things can happen. Look what happened in 2000, where President Bush lost the popular vote but won the Electoral College. So these sort of things can happen. So I think it would be very interesting. It'd be a nice civics lesson for everybody.
And funny you should bring up the 2000 election. A lot of the experts are comparing this election as close to it is so late. Polls out today showing almost a dead heat within the margin of error. Do you see the winner of this election losing the popular vote and still winning the Electoral College? Could it be Romney wins the popular and Obama is still president because of the Electoral College, or vice versa?
I think that's certainly a possibility, because the national public poll would show that it's extremely tight. But I think, again, when you look at some of the battleground states, I think that the polling data would suggest that President Obama, he's had a pretty solid 4 to 5 point lead at times in Ohio, sometimes a little bit closer than that. But so you could have a situation where Governor Romney might, just barely eke out the popular vote, but then President Obama wins the Electoral College.
we've seen Governor Romney in really the last few days campaign here in Pennsylvania in hopes of picking up any last votes he can, trying to win Pennsylvania's electoral votes. Explain how crucial Pennsylvania can be to a campaign, and in essence, does Governor Romney need to win Pennsylvania to win the actual electoral college and the presidency?
Well, if he loses Ohio, then he needs to find something else, and certainly Pennsylvania is a slightly bigger electoral prize than Ohio. We have 20 votes, Ohio has 18, so that certainly would be something to try to do, but I just don't see him being able to push against that southeastern block of Democratic votes. I think that would be difficult. We haven't had a Republican win Pennsylvania since 1988. So that's a long time.
Yeah, George H.W. Bush back in after the Reagan years, back in, I used to say 1988.
Yeah, he's still sort of riding on that Reagan momentum.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be difficult. Although the polls have tightened up in Pennsylvania, and some people think that might be due to the fact that Pennsylvania was largely ignored for a long time in this war, and whereas Ohio was getting hammered for months, whereas we didn't get a lot of heavy advertising in Pennsylvania, and then the first debate sort of gave Governor Romney a nice little boost, and he was a boost from a higher level, whereas in Ohio he had been pummeled with negative advertising going back to April by the Obama campaign, and so it took had to recover more ground in Ohio, whereas in Pennsylvania he didn't have quite the ground yet to recover.
And Dr. Sweet, we're getting some late-breaking information now. Currently, electoral votes are at 76 for Mitt Romney, 64 for President Obama. Could this spell disaster for President Obama, being down by really 8 electoral votes this early?
Oh, it's just too early to call at this point. Remember, there's going to be 55 votes coming in from California for him, so I think it's just way too early. I think you guys are going to be here all night. Not all night. You're going to be here till midnight. I think it's too early to call it at this point. Because you see, the Southeast has been coming in, and that's obviously going to go with.
It's been really the predictable one so far. New England for the president, and Governor Romney picking up the Southeast. But
I'm not surprised he's doing well in Alabama and South Carolina.
Definitely.
Last question for you, Dr. Sweet, here for the top of the hour. Really, like you say, we've seen. Last race we'll talk about is the U.S. Senate race here in Pennsylvania. Tom Smith has really, gained a lot of ground in the last month. Do you see him having a shot tonight? I mean, we've seen Bob Casey really leading in all the polls, Tom Smith gaining, but do you still see Tom Smith having a shot?
That'd be a long shot. Casey has the name recognition in Pennsylvania, and he is the incumbent. And again, it's a presidential year where you're getting a lot of Democrats coming out to vote. I think it's really an uphill climb for Tom Smith at this point. So I would be surprised, but he has done a very good job at closing the gap.
All right, Dr. Sweet, thank you so much. We're going to go back to Greg Jacobs, Thomas McConnell, and John Owens in just a moment. We're going to send it to our next break. On the other side, again, we'll have the top of the hour results, more breaking news here coming up in just a little bit. Stay tuned.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're gonna be hanging out a little bit more.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those pants.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Danse, balance, suis la cadence. On ouvre bien tes hanches au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence. Dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis ton chou, ton
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
At Sheetz, your favorite meal on the go is just a touch away. The MTO, or made-to-order menu, is the perfect way to quickly get food that will satisfy any craving. Don't worry about trying to decide which fast food restaurant will satisfy your taste. Sheetz' wide variety of choices and simple ordering system makes the decision easy. For those especially hectic days when time is at a premium, Sheetz also offers the MTO to-go case with quick grabs. Sheetz is conveniently located at 1281 East Main Street in Clarion.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
Welcome back to America Votes 2012 on CUTV and WCUC 91.7 of everybody. I'm Matt Knadler. We're just a little after the 9 o'clock hour, and we have some new breaking news updates here. We're getting word that Governor Romney leads the Electoral College right now 154 to 123 over President Obama. Some of the states that just closed here at the top of the 9 o'clock hour: Arizona, Colorado, of course. Colorado, a swing state, so we'll keep our eye on that. Kansas, Louisiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, the list goes on and on. Wisconsin also just closed. Of course, they're a battleground state as well. And so we'll take it to the analysts now. Again, Greg Jacobs, Thomas McConnell, and John Owens joining us here now, guys. And we're taking a look at, as we mentioned, the 154, 123. Tell us what you guys know, Greg.
Exactly what you said. Barack Obama is losing right now, or he's not losing, but Mitt Romney has the lead with 154 to 123. We have Wyoming, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Texas. They all just went through, and they all swayed toward Mitt Romney. Tom?
Well, Tom, yeah, give us your thoughts here. We're taking a look. A couple more battleground states going, just closing here at the 9 o'clock hour. Wisconsin, Colorado as well. Really, what is Wisconsin? I mean, of course, it's one of the, I guess, bigger undecided states right now with, I believe, 10 electoral votes. Give us your thoughts here on Wisconsin. It always leaned blue. Scott Walker changed things a little bit this last summer. It's starting to lean a little more red. Give us your thoughts here. What exactly needs to happen in Wisconsin for President Obama to keep that, or Mitt Romney to take it away?
Well, I think that all the people that voted for Scott Walker in the general election for him and the recall election, I think need to come out and vote. Well, if they did come out and vote for Mitt Romney, I think that he has a very good chance in winning that because, like I said, I mean he won 2 elections, and everyone thought that he was going to lose the recall. There was high thought that he was going to lose the recall, but. This is going to be a big one for Mitt Romney. If it'll take the electoral pressure off of him if he's able to pull Wisconsin into his pocket, because he'll have to worry less about Pennsylvania with that. So it's going to be interesting to see how the votes come in.
We take a look at some of the numbers going across the screen right now. We see the president, of course, trailing Governor Romney right now. It's 52-47, the percentage-wise here across the country. 1%, of course, going to a number of other candidates. There are 2 candidates other than President Obama and Governor Romney here onto the ballot in Pennsylvania. Libertarian Gary Johnson and Green Party Jill Stein. So it's likely that those candidates also on other ballots across the country have that 1%. John Owens, we're seeing a lot of numbers come in here for other races tonight. First, give us your take on the presidential race. Again, the numbers we currently have, 154 in the Electoral College, 154 to 123, Governor Romney with that lead. Give us your thoughts here on that race and some of the other races across the country you have numbers on tonight.
All right, looking at a lot of different races here, Matt. One thing, the key state is Virginia, and if Mitt Romney is going to win this election, he's going to have to carry Virginia. Right now, he's leading in Virginia, but the president is leading in Ohio. Looking at some other races, Pennsylvania itself, and Pennsylvania, few results are coming in, so still too close to call, too early to call on that. Close races in both Florida and North Carolina. There are also going to be factors and both states that Governor Romney is going to want to win. Finally, some exit poll information. NBC News is reporting that a lot of Americans are reporting at their exit polls that they think America's on the wrong track. And if people are reporting that at the exit polls, that's definitely an advantage for Governor Romney. And turnout is an advantage for Governor Romney. Somebody said earlier today that I was talking to, they said people come out for a premiere, not a rerun. So that could benefit Governor Romney if turnout stays up like it's looking in the state of Pennsylvania. However, it does look like Kathleen Kane is leading in the Attorney General race with the early results coming in. We'll have to keep an eye on that as the night progresses.
We just saw President Obama casting his ballot in Illinois earlier today. And guys, of course, Governor Romney cast his earlier this afternoon. We saw Vice President Biden in Delaware doing the same. We're still getting a lot of the results in here from the state races early on, so we'll bring those to you as soon as we get them. But guys, we're talking about the presidential race. We're going to, we take a look at really what in Pennsylvania. We talk about the Pennsylvania T, and I believe it was Thomas alluded that maybe it was John talked about the urban and rural settings earlier, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia playing a role. Greg, give us your thoughts. We talk about cities like Erie. We talk about Harrisburg, York. You're from York.
Yes.
More populated cities, but not quite the size of Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Could they collectively pull together and perhaps give President Obama the actual edge he needs that he has had here in Pennsylvania? Or perhaps could they pull together and give Governor Romney the edge?
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. We all know that here in Pennsylvania, Philly and Pittsburgh do pull a lot. Those 2 cities really are the deciding factor for Pennsylvania. I know that I saw on the news before I came here that Bucks County, right above Philadelphia, they are a very important county this election, and they have a strong pull themselves. I think that Pennsylvania can collectively come together and have a different side, even though the 2 cities may lean one way, Pennsylvania could lean the other, and still have the opposing candidate win. But it all depends. It all depends on how strong the 2 cities are and how strong the middle of Pennsylvania is. Like we had said before with the coal region, I know that there are a lot of people who had a job related to coal and lost their job, knowing that was a direct response to Obama's plans. Right there, he's losing a lot of votes because of that, and solely because of the energy in PA. Then that could. It really could sway Pennsylvania either way.
John, you say you have some numbers or just some thoughts on this?
I do have a little bit of breaking news coming just right now. Major networks reporting that the GOP will maintain control of the House of Representatives, so that could be a factor if you see that 269 time at. But the GOP looking to retain control of the House. Also, it has been projected that Elizabeth Warren will win the Massachusetts Senate race, so she's knocking out Scott Brown. Scott Brown, obviously, who replaced Ted Kennedy a couple of years back. A big win for the Republicans there. Looks like the Democrats will have that seat again.
We've seen a lot of people talk about that potential of the Republicans keeping the House, the Democrats keeping the Senate. We have word on one of those tonight. So, John, thanks for getting that to us here, and we'll keep you posted on the results around the country in the Senate. Word right now that the Democrats still likely to maintain that, but we'll see. We'll see exactly if that maintains validity throughout the night. See how true that is. Thomas, give us your thoughts here again on some of these, some of the races we're seeing tonight and some of the results.
Well, first off, I just a little bit of breaking news myself. I have a number of large media stations projecting that Bob Casey is now going to win the Senate race in Pennsylvania. This includes the Washington Times and Fox News just offhand. So, I mean, that's a big one, but it's not going to hurt Republicans in the sense that, they will lose any seats in the Senate. I've seen different projections tonight that the Democrats are projected to keep the Senate, keep their majority in the Senate, but it's going to be a closer margin than it was the last election. So I think that a lot of these are going to come true. I do think that the Democrats will maintain their majority in the Senate, and I do think that Republicans will still remain or maintain a large majority in the House.
All right, well, again, we're going to keep an eye on a lot of these races tonight. We'll have more updates coming your way here with Mike Friend in just a moment. You brought up a good point with the Massachusetts Senate race, and Elizabeth Warren and Scott Brown. And Scott Brown, of course, he filled in for, again, the late Ted Kennedy. So he wasn't even in there a full term. He was never actually elected by, in this type of election. It was sort of a special election in 2009.
And if you remember that election, Matt, there were a lot of miscues by his Democratic challenger. She called Kurt Schilling a Yankee. You do that in Boston, you're not going to get elected.
You do that in Boston. It might not be a good day. But again, we're going to be following the rest of that race that's projected right now. We're also going to take a look at the Missouri Senate race between Todd Akin. Of course, he is taking on the incumbent Claire McCaskill, the Democratic incumbent. And so we'll take a look exactly how that race is panning out throughout the night. We'll also give you some more local results coming up. We'll go back to Kelly Przelic later on this hour at the Clarion County Courthouse. She'll give you an update on those races here in the county and in Western Pennsylvania as well. But we're going to go to break here on America Votes 2012. We're going to go back to Mike Friend here in just a moment. He'll have more updates for you coming up. Stay tuned. You're watching CUTV and listening to WCUC.
So, are you going out tonight?
I can't. My parents say I have to be home right after work.
That's so gay.
Totally gay.
Ugh, that is so Emma and Julia. Why are you saying that's so Emma and Julia?
Well, you know, when something is dumb or stupid, you say that's so Emma and Julia.
Who says that?
Everyone.
Imagine if who you are were used as an insult. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
That's low. That's low.
Look, he's blushing.
Can't find your one-of-a-kind ingredient? Looking to challenge your appetite with exotic flavor? Your search ends at 6th and Main's unique array of groceries and ingredients. Specializing in the not-so-widely available, 6th and Main is Clarion's supplier of the striking tastes that shape a stylish palate. With their varied styles and unmatched selection, 6th and Main has got the taste you have only dreamt about. Let your taste run wild at 6th and Main.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to America Votes 2012, folks. Mike Friend back here with you. We have our same analysts with us still here, Nick Rawson, Aaron Krasinski, and Dylan Christofek. Folks, we got the latest count for electoral votes. We're going to start real quick. Governor Romney still in the lead with 154 votes. And President Obama has 143 electoral college votes. Still very early, as Dr. Sweet mentioned before the top of the hour. Too early to call right now. And panelists, what we're going to get to now is redistricting occurred in Pennsylvania. It's going to take effect in 2013 with this new class of elected officials and whatnot. So really, how is that going to affect Clarion County as a whole? Nick, I know you're a Clarion County resident. How's it going to affect now that Mike Kelly and both Glenn Thompson are, right now they are serving in what it is, and they are really running for that district? How's it going to affect no matter who wins, either Thompson, Kelly, Mr. Thompson, or Charles Dumas?
Well, for Clarion County, I mean, it has pretty big implications. Instead of where you would think a whole county would go to one district, you kind of have this weird line that exists somewhere around Interstate 80. And below there is the current representative, Mike Kelly, running against the Democrat, Missa Eaton. And north, where we are here in Clarion Borough at Clarion University, we have the representative Glenn G.T. Thompson running against Charles Dumas. The biggest thing about it is really that it really has watered down some of the more staunch Democratic bastions of the state by giving some of our more Republican-leaning county votes towards them. But I think the biggest piece of information that you can take out, Mike Kelly represents a sliver of Clarion County that has about 6,000 to 10,000 people that live there. I'm not sure of the exact number, but it's somewhere in that range. And he has said that he's not overly concerned. He never planned any stops there, and he never planned on really campaigning there because of the small number of people that he was representing there. And for me, as a Clarion County resident, I don't know what I was trying to say there. But as a Clarion County resident, I feel a little insulted by that anybody would write us off. Obviously, that has some implications at the presidential level with other people writing a percentage of the American people off. But I really don't like it at the local level a lot more than I don't like it at the national level.
All right, Aaron, I know your permanent residence in Mike Kelly's district has really up towards the northern part of the state, the smokestack of Pennsylvania. Have you noticed anything different in the ads? Because obviously he'll be running ads in the area as Mr. Eaton. As the 3rd district has expanded, now taking part of Lawrence County, what used to be the 4th and Jason Altmeier's district, Jason Altmaier losing in the primaries. Have you seen anything different in the campaign strategy for this really huge district?
Not really. They seem to be going just fine. I know Erie kind of swings Democratic, but kind of how it's split, you don't know how it's going to go. But other than that, they've kind of been tried and true.
All right, guys, we got some late breaking news here. Just Pennsylvania polls coming in, 66% of the vote going to President Obama, 32% going to Governor Romney. In Pennsylvania, that is, so President Obama gaining 20 electoral college votes here, making a lot closer race, now taking the lead here as, again, President Obama has won in what some will call a landslide here by a 66 to 32 margin here. Dylan, real quick, your thoughts on that. Do you think it's going to be that much of a landslide here in Pennsylvania?
I did not actually see it being that big of a landslide. Is that full precincts coming in, or?
That's the latest information.
That's the latest information. I mean, I'm
got.
sure there's still a lot of votes that need to come in. I expect that to fall. I mean, 20% margin is large to win in any state, except for maybe some of those southern states that are very strong Republican strongholds, or up in New England that are very staunch Democratic strongholds. But, I mean, it's, as Dr. Sweet was saying, it's a little early to tell. I mean, shortly after 9, I guess almost 9:30, And so there's still a lot of votes that need to be counted, a lot of places that need to be just counted up, and we'll see how things turn out.
All right, Nick, really, President Obama, Dylan said, had a really big margin right now. Do you see that shrinking overnight? Or do you see him really holding what's looking to be about a 34% margin over the former governor of Massachusetts?
I think just by logic that we can really think about it, that's going to reduce down its term regression towards the mean. We'll see that shrink. I can't imagine that big of a landslide in a state that was really showing a real toss-up prior to these latest results. I can't imagine. It's so early in the day. I mean, the polls have only been closed for an hour and 20 minutes. It's too early to say that it's a gigantic landslide, 60% going towards Obama. I still think Obama's going to win the state and the election, but it's too early to call it that big of a landslide.
All right, folks, we actually do have the latest electoral update. The last one we gave you is a little faulty. Currently, right now, electoral votes sit at Mitt Romney with 153, President Obama 123, folks. We have all this late breaking news coming up here. Really, results starting to roll in from mainly the eastern seaboard, getting towards the Midwest here. Keep it on America Votes here on CUTV, The Nest, and 91.7 WCUC-FM, The Clutch.
The first day stepping on the court, I couldn't keep up. That motivated me to step up my game. When I reach a goal, I set a new one the next day. And my next goal is to go to college. Mastering the court takes persistence. So does getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Do you like this top? So gay.
Really?
Yeah, it's totally gay.
You know, you really shouldn't say that.
Say what?
Well, say that something's gay when you mean it's bad. It's insulting. What if every time something was bad, everybody said, "Oh, that's so girl wearing a skirt as a top"?
Oh, you are.
Those are cute jeans, though. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Longing for a unique taste and a relaxed atmosphere? Look no further than 6th and Main Market in downtown Clarion. With a menu to satisfy a chic palate, 6th and Main has a taste of the Strip District without the long drive home. Accompanying the food is a complement of gourmet sodas and ice creams, a fully stocked deli, delicious breads, and delectable desserts. 6th and Main offers dine-in service with a relaxed atmosphere, which will leave a distinct impression.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
Welcome back to America Votes 2012 here on CUTV and WCUC, everybody. I'm Matt Knaler.
I'm Mike Friend.
Mike Friend as well. And we're going to take a look at some of the numbers coming up here. Maybe
But-
one second. Go ahead.
Well, right now we have some later states coming up here. As you can see, Matt, we have Georgia here.
We'll take a step back and let you guys look.
Taking a look here. Mitt Romney winning 66% of the state here. President Obama garnering 33% of the state. Really 99% of the vote there. The other 1%, Matt, obviously those who voted for candidates like Gary Johnson, Ron Paul, so on and so forth. So really not nothing a lot that you want to expect here. Indiana, as you can see coming on screen now, folks, Barack Obama winning 41% of that. Projected winner right now with 57% of the vote. As, Dr. Sweet mentioned, Indiana going red right now. So really nothing we didn't expect here so far. Taking a look now, we're going to take a look at Kentucky. President Obama, 38% of the vote. Projected winner at 60% of the vote. State last voted Republican in the last election here, folks. So not a lot you wouldn't expect here from these southern states. Going out to the Midwest, a lot of farming and agricultural-based communities out there. President Obama has really tried to cater to these economics, but really they still feel more, they feel more strongly about the Republican candidates. Taking a look at Maine. Maine, one of the special states here, they divide their electoral votes here. Projected winner, Mitt Romney, with 59% of the vote. They voted Democrat in the last election, so this may be a slight steal for Governor Romney as he tries to take those 5 votes. Obviously, if President Obama garners enough of a vote, 3 go to the popular vote winner. The other 2 are up to be decided depending on districts here. So really, it's anybody's game in Maine right now. Still, Mitt Romney still projected to be the winner, and Matt has some more late updates for us here.
Again, we got some new numbers coming in here tonight. President Obama just took Wisconsin. That's a huge victory for him, of course. Mitt Romney's running mate, Paul Ryan, congressman from Wisconsin. So President Obama getting Wisconsin here tonight. Some numbers here from Clarion County. Kelly just getting back to us from downtown. Mitt Romney taking Clarion County, 5,852 votes. President Obama with 2,759 votes. We take a look at the U.S. Senate race here from the results from Clarion County in Pennsylvania's U.S. Senate race. Tom Smith easily winning at Clarion County, 5,077 votes compared to Bob Casey's 2,773 votes. And in the congressional race here, we're getting some numbers in on Pennsylvania's 5th Congressional District. Glenn Thompson, 4,762 votes, and Charles Duma with 1,716 votes. Again, those are numbers here from Clarion County, so not much different, or not much out of the ordinary in this one. Again, Mitt Romney, Tom Smith, and Glenn Thompson winning here in Clarion County. We take a look at some of the other numbers and take a look at Rhode Island. President Obama, again, a New England state, not much different in that one. We expected President Obama to win 54-43 over Governor Romney there. Mike, joining me here for the last part of this block. Give us your thoughts here, Mike, on the Wisconsin victory.
Really,
President Obama.
It's not surprising. Wisconsin really in the last few elections have elected the Democratic candidate. And as we take a look at South Carolina right now, projected winner President Obama at 52%, Mitt Romney at 47%, folks, and you can see that there as I step off screen. But really, Matt, not these numbers coming in right now, nothing really surprising. Again, other than Paul Ryan, very few Republican congressmen from the state of Wisconsin, so that's really not a surprise here as we take a look, folks, at the state of Tennessee. President Obama losing that state, 40% of the vote there, and Mitt Romney wins with 59%.
Again, not a huge surprise there. Another state in the Southeast going to Mitt Romney. So this is what's keeping the race tight tonight, folks. We're looking at the Southeast, at least so far, waiting for some of the other states to come in. But so far, we're looking at President Obama taking a lot of the states in the Northeast. The only real surprise, I would say, is Wisconsin. That's one of the battleground states. And, of course, President Obama taking Pennsylvania tonight as well. And we take a look at Vermont here. Once again, another New England state, not a huge surprise. President Obama taking 66% of the vote compared to Mitt Romney's 32% of the vote. And we take a look at the Electoral College. I'll step off the screen. Here's what we're looking at so far tonight. A couple states filled in. This is mostly a projection at this point. A couple of states we can fill in right now. Pennsylvania, gone blue. That's for President Obama. The blue, of course, for President Obama. The red for Governor Romney. We take a look at Wisconsin. There are 10 electoral votes, again, going to the president as well. Still waiting on the actual words in North Carolina, Virginia, and Florida. Mike.
And Matt, if you're taking a look at the map here, we're still looking at a lot of battleground states still up for play. Florida, 29 electoral votes, really next to California and Texas, some of them really one of the biggest prizes in this election. Really, it's going to play a factor here. They have Senator Marco Rubio, really a very strong conservative, so they're going to vote, try to trust with Governor Romney's. Really, he's got Rubio's endorsement, so will they go that way or will they vote for the president? And really, you know, that's still one of the battleground states up here as we see, you know, Iowa still in play, Nevada, Colorado, really traditionally blue states, folks, but now they're battleground states, so we have a lot more coming up here.
It is going to be interesting to see exactly how things pan out. And speaking of the battleground states, we're going to go to our next break. And speaking of the battleground states, we're going to have CUTV's Dylan Hyman here. He's going to give us a little more information on some of the key battleground states, a look at 2008, and how exactly things are shaping up this year. Stay tuned. This is America Votes 2012 on CUTV and WCUC.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Yo, check out this chef, right?
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those pants.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Danse, balance la cadence, on lève bien tes hanches au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence, dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis ton chou, ton
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
At Sheetz, your favorite meal on the go is just a touch away. The MTO, or made-to-order menu, is the perfect way to quickly get food that will satisfy any craving. Don't worry about trying to decide which fast food restaurant will satisfy your taste. Sheetz' wide variety of choices and simple ordering system makes the decision easy. For those especially hectic days when time is at a premium, Sheetz also offers the MTO to-go case with quick grabs. Sheetz is conveniently located at 1281 East Main Street in Clarion.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
Welcome back to America Votes 2012. Everybody here on CUTV and WCUC 91.7 FM. I'm Matt Knaler. Mike Friend joining us now. We have CUTV News' Dylan Hyman. He's here to talk about battleground states tonight, and we're seeing a lot of action here in Florida. We actually just have some new numbers in Florida, actually. Mitt Romney leads the president by 1%, so we'll get you. And again, we're waiting on the Panhandle to report. Of course, they're in the Central Time Zone, so a lot of their numbers still just coming in. But Dylan, we're seeing a lot of the battleground states tonight with, again, going President Obama's way. We've seen Wisconsin go that way so far. New Hampshire, a battleground state as well. We just got some numbers on that one, and President Obama took the Granite State, New Hampshire, going again to the president, which is kind of interesting if you look at exactly, Mitt Romney, sort of I guess, one of the favorite sons. He has a home in New Hampshire, that sort of thing, but another New England state. So Dylan, give us your thoughts here on some of the battleground states tonight.
Well, I am actually very surprised, like you said, about New Hampshire. It is the fact, though, that Mitt Romney does have a home there. He was the governor of neighboring Massachusetts. However, it is in that New England area, so it's all very Democratic up there. He took it by about 11 percentage points, 55% for the president and 44 for Governor Romney. As for other battleground states such as Wisconsin, that was also a surprise to me. I felt that Romney would pull that one as well, and now we'll just have to see how Florida does.
And Dylan, you really, being from that area, really, President Obama he's been campaigning up there, don't get me wrong, but have you seen a lot more of the president, or campaign ads from the president than you do from someone like Mitt Romney or even other third-party super PACs?
Well, you honestly, in New England, it's very easy to see like a Democratic candidate commercials, but you really, honestly, you don't see a whole lot because Connecticut itself, where I'm from, it's very Democratic, so there's not a very large chance that any Republican is going to win. And also some breaking news there is that Chris Murphy, the Democratic Senate candidate, took the race from the Republican Linda McMahon, so that's another, unfortunately, her second run at the Senate.
And she has spent so much money on both of her races in 2010 and in 2012, so that's proof that money can't always buy a race for you. But again, Dylan, we talked about battleground states. You did a report for us on that.
Yes, I did. And Matt, it should really come as no surprise that Texas is traditionally a Republican voting state and that California will most likely go Democratic, but there are some states that will vote that are very unpredictable across the nation. These battleground states could very well decide whether President Obama or Mitt Romney will be in the White House come January 2013.
Florida, Ohio, and Virginia. These are just some of the states that President Obama won in 2008. He took the Sunshine State by more than 3 points 4 years ago, and now Governor Romney is leading the president in some cases by as much as 5 points. The Buckeye State, which has correctly voted for each president since 1964, gave Obama a 5-point win in the last election, and although he still has the edge in Ohio, it has dwindled to just a 2-point margin. The president took Virginia by 6 points 4 years ago and is now trailing by 2. These once blue states are now toss-ups for either candidate. But now looking at 2012, these 3 states are now heavily undecided, and the number of electoral votes are playing a major factor into how President Obama and Governor Romney are campaigning. Florida, which owns 29 electoral votes, has seen its fair share of advertising. According to a National Public Radio article from October 25th, one Florida TV station aired 4 presidential ads in just 1 hour. Ohio has also seen a barrage of advertisements. Since the general election campaign started in April, voters in Ohio have seen nearly 200,000 television ads. Both campaigns have spent more than $114 million in the process. Smaller swing states may not carry as many electoral votes, but could still play an important role in the election. In 2008, President Obama won North Carolina by a little more than 14,000 votes and picked up the state's 15 electoral votes, and by little more than 28,000 votes in Indiana to pick up their 11 electoral votes. Much of the same can be said in 2012 for states such as Wisconsin and Colorado, which owns 10 and 9 electoral votes respectively. Clarion University political science professor Kevin Yenneral explains the significance of winning some of the smaller swing states.
No. If Republicans lose Florida, they can't win the election. Democrats can lose Florida. President Obama can lose Florida and still win the election, provided he wins Ohio, Wisconsin, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, in either Iowa or Colorado. But the Republicans can't lose Florida. Democrats can, and it makes it harder. No question, it makes it harder for the Democrats. They have less margin of error. But if the Republicans lose Florida, you can throw Marge Rivera out, it means that they're going to lose.
Because the candidates cannot be in all the swing states at once, they have enlisted a series of surrogates to speak on their behalf. The Democrats have used former President Bill Clinton, as well as many celebrities including actress Eva Longoria, R&B singer Beyonce, and rocker Bruce Springsteen, who held an event in Pittsburgh on October 27th. Mitt Romney has had his fair share of supporters, including rising Republican stars such as New Jersey Governor Chris Christie and Senator Marco Rubio of Florida. Yano explains the importance of surrogates in states with such tight races.
Well, you want to choose a surrogate that is going to usually is going to generate positive media coverage. You want to pick a surrogate that can appeal to core constituencies that you need to win the election.
And Ohio even has a pair of battleground counties, Hamilton and Cuyahoga counties, which house Cincinnati and Cleveland, the Buckeye State's two largest cities. Cincinnati is expected to vote predominantly Republican, while Cleveland, Matt, is expected to take the president and other Democrats in the area.
We'll take a look at those counties coming up later on in the night when we get more results from Ohio. But real quick, guys, before we go to break, we talk about some of the surrogates on the campaign trail, Dylan. You know, President Clinton has been one of the biggest supporters on the trail and the biggest assets for the Democrats and President Obama.
He really is. He is one of those Democrats who is still very popular as he's out of office. He's extremely well known. He's able also to speak to the people, I think, better than the president at some points. He was very popular during his presidency, and I do recall back in 2000 that he was quoted as saying, "If I could run again, I would, and I would win." And I don't doubt that for a second.
All right, well, Dylan, thank you so much. And Dylan has been getting us a lot of the facts on the night here, one of the many fact checkers we have. And I'm very thankful we have everybody next door here getting us everything that we have for tonight. So we're going to go to break here on CUTV and WCUC. On the other side, we're going to have Jillian Hartman back with our updated social media report. We're also going to go downtown live once again to Kelly Projelik for some more numbers regarding the local races here in Clarion County. Stay tuned. This is America Votes 2012 on CUTV and WCUC.
So, are you going out tonight? I can't. My parents say I have to be home right after work.
That's so gay.
Totally gay.
Ugh, that is so Emma and Julia.
Why are you saying that's so Emma and Julia?
Well, you know, when something is dumb or stupid, you say that's so Emma and Julia.
Who says that?
Everyone.
Imagine if who you are were used as an insult. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
That's low. That's low. Look, he's blushing.
Can't find your one-of-a-kind ingredient? Looking to challenge your appetite with exotic flavor? Your search ends at 6th and Maine's unique array of groceries and ingredients. Specializing in the not-so-widely available, 6th and Main is Clarion's supplier of the striking tastes that shape a stylish palate. With their varied styles and unmatched selection, 6th and Main has got the taste you have only dreamt about. Let your taste run wild at 6th and
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
All right, welcome back to CUTV and WCUC, everybody. Jillian Hartman joins us again here. Before we get back to the social media report, we have some new numbers in. The Electoral College tied at the moment, 153-153. So that earlier report about 154-153.
Magic numbers 269 for the real tie. Let's go.
Actual data on that one at this point. But again, tied 153-153 in the presidential race between President Obama and Governor Romney. Just 700,000
we would know
votes
for a while.
separate the popular vote between Mitt Romney, who is leading that tally, and President Obama. Guys, some amazing numbers. 36 million votes, 38 million votes cast so far tonight. Guys, this is incredible numbers we have here.
And really, it's 153, 153, and I mean, as much as I don't want it to be reality, we're creeping ever closer to a 269 tie, Matt. And Jillian, are you seeing anything on?
What does social media have to say about this? We are getting some incredible numbers.
Earlier about Ohio and Florida being battleground states.
Definitely.
And obviously, Dylan Hyman was here as a fact tracker, but I'm here as more of an opinion based. And on Twitter, people have been tweeting, this is the only time of the year people realize Ohio is a state. People also mentioned, Daniel Tosh, the comedian, said, good luck today, Florida. Try not to pull another Florida. But on WPXI today, they mentioned that a PA voting machine switched a voter's ballot to Obama to Romney.
Okay, so some
actually, Pennsylvania is pulling Florida today.
And I was hoping the Keystone State wouldn't do that. But Jill, we take a look at Twitter always. Twitter is a very good indicator, really, of exactly how people are feeling. We could go through the trends. What exactly are the trends looking like here tonight? Are they still staying with a lot of the political
Election
themes?
2012,
Exactly.
Vote Obama, vote Romney. I voted for the first time in my life. But there's a lot of controversy between a lot of people on Facebook and Twitter. Obviously, there's a lot of young adults on Twitter and Facebook, and they're kind of going back at each other. I know a lot of Obama supporters are saying, I know what it's like to lose a home. I can never remember where my fourth one is, obviously relating it to Romney. And other Facebook users are also saying, I didn't vote for revenge, I voted for love of country, which is referring to a presidential ad that Romney has put together. So.
All right, so Jillian, obviously social media very, very active here. And folks,
on a less serious note, obviously.
Yeah, on a less serious note.
Sometimes you have to take a break. But
I know you're holding in your laughter.
But
it's all right.
But folks, taking a look right now, we're going to send it back down to downtown Clarion to Memorial Park. Kelly Projelic's there. She got a latest update here for how the votes are turning out in Clarion County. Kelly?
All right, thanks, guys. You may have already heard the big news that Barack Obama has been declared the winner of Pennsylvania here. He'll take home 20 electoral votes with him tonight. I want to break that down a little bit further for you. I want to talk about some of the races that were in Clarion County tonight. I just got back from the administrative building, and I have the numbers for you as of 9:30. Now, Mitt Romney was the winner in Clarion County tonight. He had 7,523 votes compared to Barack Obama's 3,604. The one thing I do want to reiterate to you about this race with President Obama and Mitt Romney, Barack Obama actually took home most of the votes in the 3 Clarion boroughs that students were eligible to vote in today. His numbers were outstanding in those 3 boroughs. Also a big race here tonight in Pennsylvania. You already heard that Senator Bob Casey will win re-election in the U.S. Senate race. He defeated Tom Smith this evening. Accordingly, though, Tom Smith did win Clarion County. He took home 7,159 votes compared to Bob Casey's 3,655. Again, these are all as of 9:30 this evening from the Clarion County Administrative Building. Another big race we were discussing was the congressional race between Mike Kelly and his incumbent, Missa Eaton. Now, Mike Kelly dominated this race as well. He took home 2,247 of the votes compared to Missa Eaton's 971. Another big race we were talking about is the 5th Congressional District race between Glenn G.T. Thompson and Charles Dumas. Thomas has beaten Charles Dumas in this county, 5,484 votes to Dumas's 2,792. And of course, as we mentioned, the 63rd congressional district race will go to Donna Oberlander. She is the only nominee for this race. She took home 10,000 votes this evening. Now, one thing we were following was the Chris and Rothfuss race. We've been hearing conflicting reports. I've been checking my Twitter over the past few minutes. So far, what I have seen for the Mark Kritz has the lead so far with 50,410 votes, taken to Rothfuss's 47,359. Now, we are hearing reports that in certain areas here that Rothfuss may have taken the lead. Again, we'll keep you posted on that one. We're live from the Clarion County Courthouse. Kelly Przelik, CUTV News. Back to the news desk.
All right, thank you, Kelly. And again, just to repeat some of the numbers, a lot of information there from Kelly. Bob Casey winning re-election here in Pennsylvania. Really, I would say is no surprise, guys. Tom Smith, the Republican National Senatorial Committee throwing a lot of money into this race late last week, $500,000. Just wasn't enough. Looks like Bob Casey will continue to be a senator here from Pennsylvania. He wins re-election. Just some quick other numbers. Clarion County in the Mike Kelly, Missa Eaton race, 2,241 votes for Mike Kelly defeating Missa Eaton here in Clarion County. And we take a look again. Pennsylvania, in the 12th Congressional District, Mark Kritz, Keith Rothfuss, a very, very contested district. That moving, and that district, of course, being redistricted over the last year. Kind of going from Johnstown now all the way over towards the Pittsburgh area, giving Rothfuss and Republicans a little bit more of an edge. But Kritz right now still winning, 50,410 votes compared to Keith Rothfuss's 47,359. So we'll keep you tallied on that coming up throughout the rest of the night. But we have some more news coming up, some news on the Florida Senate race. We'll have that coming up, and potential voter fraud in Nebraska. We'll have that coming up. On the other side, Clarion University political science professor Dr. Barry Sweet will join us in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. You're watching and listening to America Votes on CUTV and WCUC.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're gonna be hanging out a little bit more.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those pants.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Danse, balance sur la cadence. On revient tes hanches au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence. Dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis ton chou, ton
You didn't give up on sex? Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
At Sheetz, your favorite meal on the go is just a touch away. The MTO, or made-to-order menu, is the perfect way to quickly get food that will satisfy any craving. Don't worry about trying to decide which fast food restaurant will satisfy your taste. Sheetz' wide variety of choices and simple ordering system makes the decision easy. For those especially hectic days when time is at a premium, Sheetz also offers the MTO to-go case with quick grabs. Sheetz is conveniently located at 1281 East Main Street in Clarion.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but,